guys, thank you for watching and welcome to today's video, and of course to my channel if you're new here. I'm Debbie if you don't know me, and today's video is going to be an Inspiring You. Inspiring You in Nothing New is a series I created to bring back some of the older products in my collection and share those with you and inspire you to perhaps pull them out and create a look with them if you've not used them for a while. I know I've got a lot of makeup in my collection that doesn't get touched for months or even years, and the palette that I'm going to use today, I think it's about 2 years since I've used it. So, and I think it was such a hyped up palette in its time that I think a lot of you will have it. And I am of course talking about the Modern Renaissance by Anastasia, and bought this palette at the time because I was into neutrals but with just a bit of a pop of colour. And it is a pretty basic neutral palette, we all know what this one looks like, but I'm going to be playing in the pinks and reds today. I'm probably putting veneer on my lids to really make things pop. So that's kind of what I'm feeling today. I don't tend to go so much for the warmer neutrals these days, you know, these sort of shades or the orange, but the pinks in here are really, really pretty and I just fancy playing with them today. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll scoot you in and we'll get started. So I'm going to start with Bon Fresco and take that through my crease. It's the best shade in the palette for starting a look, in my opinion. I've forgotten quite how powdery Anastasia shadows are. I went swirly in that pan with this very fluffy Morphe brush, which is the M433, and there's powder everywhere. But I do love the quality of Anastasia shadows and just how they blend and how pigmented they are. And in fact I was watching a video whilst I was putting my base makeup on and trying to decide what I fancy to film with today, because for me, when I'm filming a video, it has to be like something I really want to do. I can't sort of force myself to do something. Like I should be perhaps doing some first impressions with things that I've not used, or doing a 3 looks on palette with something newer, but I have to be in the mood to do it. And anyway, I was watching Julia Mazzucato and she was just doing a very basic look, but she pulled out the Modern Renaissance and I was like, yeah, I want to do something with that today. So here we are. So for being quite a neutrally shade, that creates quite a wash of colour. It's so pretty, I think. Just going to bring a bit of that onto my lower lash line as well, but I'm going to swap brushes so that we don't end up with too much there. I'm going to take Venetian Red and I'm going to build that up in my outer corners. Got a Kaleidos S3 because I'm going to make this fairly dramatic in the outer corner, and I thought that will get the job done because it's quite a big brush, so I can really build up some pigment with that. Can see why this palette was so well loved, because it's really easy to apply, easy to blend, just everything works seamlessly together. Just going to go back into our original brush and just blend on the edges there. I'm using this over the MAC Painterly paint pot as I generally do, and we're not going for a winged out shape today, a bit more of a rounded shape. Now I'm going in with a Morphe M321, so a lot smaller and more precise blending brush. I'm going to build up this area here, and I'm going to go in with the shade Love Letter to do that. I'm taking that quite high in my crease and blending sort of upwards. I think it's great with this palette, how everything just flows together so easily. With the same brush, I've just dipped into Bon Fresco just to diffuse just this inner corner just a little bit. I think I've come down a little bit too heavy in that inner corner, so I just want to dampen that down just a tad. Just want to deepen that outer V a little bit. I'm going to go back in with Venetian Red, using a bit more of a packing brush with the Linda Hallberg 303, just to make sure that outer V is as deep and red as I can get it. Now with the Kaleidos S4 and the shade Vermeer, I'm going to put that all over my lids. I'm going to spray it first. It's a really impactful shimmer anyway, but I'm going to spray it to really get some intensity from it. This is the shade that I love the most, I think, in the palette, besides the pinks and the reds. It's just gorgeous. It's a true shimmer. It's not one of these like really glittery or foiled shades, but it's just so pretty. So I don't want to cut crease today, so I am going to be blending that into the crease in a moment, but I'm just really packing on that colour first. And taking my Morphe E18 that I used on the lower lash line earlier, I'm going to try to blend that in the crease into the shades that are there already. And that's working really well, I think. So I'm just going to repeat the same steps on the other eye. So build up this colour quite intensely all over the majority of the lid. And back in with that E18 on this eye again, just to blend that in the crease. I've got a little bit of a harsh line between the shimmer and the matte there, so I'm going to take Love Letter and create a bit of a fade between the two there. So I'm just smushing sort of from side to side, really gentle pressure just to blend those two colours in. Now for my waterline, I'm going to take Gel Flash by Linda Hallberg. It's like a cool tone goldy shade, but I thought it might echo the colour on my lids. And then for my lower lash line, I'm going to go in with Venetian Red in the outer part and Love Letter in the inner part. I'm just stamping that on with a smudge brush. I'm meeting up where we've got the shadow in the outer corner. My inner corner highlight, I'm going to use the Gel Flash pencil as a base. And then I'm just going to pack that Vermeer shade that we've used on the lid over that. It will just make it that little bit more intense than it was on the lid. I'm going to go in now with a little bit of brow bone highlight. Going to use Tempera. Don't often use a brow bone highlight, or I do it sometimes, but not too often. I just felt like this look could just benefit from just a little bit there, just to lift it up the brow. Okay, so that's the look to this point. Just going to hop off camera for the finishing touches, and I'll be back to show you the finished look. Okay guys, so here's the finished look for this one. For liner today, I've only done a tracer liner and kind of the tiniest flick of a wing. I wanted to keep things quite soft, so I've gone with a brown liner. This is Mad Max Brown by Kat Von D. Just think sometimes a brown liner can look so much prettier than a black liner, particularly if you're looking for something soft and romantic. And then for lips today, I've gone with an Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Trouble, which again I think has the right kind of vibe for what I was trying to bring out with this palette. So I know it's nothing groundbreaking in terms of the look, it's just a classic kind of blended eye, but I really enjoy creating it, and I hope I've inspired you to maybe pull out the Modern Renaissance again and give it a little bit more love in your collection. It is such a good palette, and as I say, Anastasia shadows blend so easily. Sometimes I forget sort of how good they are. They tend to get forgotten in my collection. They're not ones that I use as much as other shadows these days. So I think the whole sort of them bringing out multiple palettes one after the other kind of turned me off the brand, and I've just stopped using them for a while. But today I just really fancy to use this palette. So as I say, I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you're new to my channel, I hope you might consider subscribing before you go. But other than that, guys, I hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!